Hello everybody, it is your boy Skipx here with another video for you guys here today, and what we're going to be talking about is the future of the Drakengard Nier series and my slight worries about what's to come within the series. So with that being said, one of the major things that concerns me about the next Drakengard and Nier game is that Nier Automata's budget was kind of paper thin or a lot less compared to other Square games, and let's just put it like this in simple terms. Let's just say if you had a whole bunch of money, and let's say your kid's allowance for a year, if you just had racks of money, was each one of your 4 kids were to get 30 million. And let's say you had a stepchild, but you don't like this stepchild as much, or because you're not as invested in this stepchild as much, you only give that stepchild 15 to 10 million, somewhere around there. Obviously, that stepchild is going to have to be a lot more savvy with his money, even though we're just talking about 15 million here. But he's going to have to be a lot more savvy with his money as opposed to his siblings who have twice as much as him, or sometimes 3 times as much as him. So with that being said, that's kind of how Nier Automata's situation was, whereas some games were to get like budgets of like 30 million, 40 million. Nier Automata's budget was much lower than that, and that led to a lot of things within the game design, like how the game's open world was designed, whereas it felt very expansive, but it was also enough at the same time it wasn't overbearing and confusing, and you could basically navigate the world without the use of a map or a whole bunch of detail within the map, just like trying to cut corners here and there to overall make the game a better experience, which you can see through some of the gameplay and all of this stuff with how you have to constantly go through the city area and things of that nature. So with that being said, people over there at Square Enix did not have the utmost confidence in this game's ability to sell, but yet they keep making these games because they understand it has a really niche fan base that will continue to buy these games regardless of where they come out at. But with that being said, and the overall success of Nier Automata's sales going over 2 million on this paper thin budget, and then making this money back and then some, plus the DLC, and with the reports of Square Enix saying that they want to make Nier a key franchise now, kind of worries me, and this is why. Nier and Drakengard have never been series of Square Enix that have been in the limelight. They have never been at the forefront. They have never been super promoted or super backed by the people at the top, talking about the people who decide who the CEO is and the CEOs themselves. It's never been a hugely supported in-company property. So with that being said, and them seeing how this game managed to sell exponentially well and get critical reviews from everywhere, and have a lot of gamers who normally don't like JRPGs love this game, it's very surprising to them, and now that they see that, they're going to want to put a lot more money into it, which is great that Yoko and Platinum are going to be able to work with a really good budget. But the thing that worries me about that is that Square also is looking into turning their games into a service, whether it's something like Hitman, or they're introducing microtransactions to the stories, or a whole crap ton of unnecessary DLC, or very necessary DLC that we're going to have to pay for to get the game's full experience, is something that is very worrying to me. And personally, as a Drakengard fan, if Nier and Drakengard never went any farther than Nier Automata, like let's say if Nier Automata is like the end of the timeline from Drakengard 3 all the way to that game, and that's like all it is, that's fine, because there are plenty of stories with huge time gaps to tell a lot of amazing stories in between that. But with that being said, far as wanting to maximize the profit and the popularity of Nier Automata, a direct sequel, or maybe not so direct, maybe a distant sequel that still takes place after Nier Automata would be the best thing for the series, seeing as how popular 9S2B and A2 are. But with that being said, Yoko does have this design philosophy that he wants to create games that you don't have to play his previous works in order to understand. So most likely new people will still be able to join in, or even he'll take it back and make it a prequel towards Nier Automata, sometimes in between Nier Gestalt and Drakengard 1, because there's like 10,000 years there if I'm correct. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. There's a lot of stuff that still confuses me about Drakengard till this day, and by no means am I a 100% expert at the story, just like I admit with Kingdom Hearts. As much as I've been covering these games, I am not the end all be all when it comes to knowledge or facts when it comes to them. But with that being said, there are a lot of places in Nier and Drakengard's timelines that he could put a game in there and put a game there, or take it back even farther, or go farther into the future. But with that being said, and just with Square and their recent dealings, especially with Final Fantasy 15, like, because personally to me, from what I've seen of episode Gladio, episode Prompto, and episode Ignis, these are all things that should have been within the base game of Final Fantasy 15. And I really do not see the arguments for it being any different. A lot of people say, nah, it's just DLC. Final Fantasy 15 at its base was a good game, good and complete game. No, it wasn't. And I am all for making your audience work to understand the story, but it's all to an extent. If that is the intent, if that is the purpose of the story, is for them to go and search for this, like a mystery show or show like Revolutionary Girl Utena or something along those lines, where they have to kind of piece things together and really look at the dialogue and pay attention to what they're saying, I'm all for that. But when it's due to you rushing out a game that you've had in development for 10 years, and then you constantly switching directors on this project, and then you patching in new cutscenes to make this story make some more sense, that is what I'm fully against, and that's why I cannot defend Final Fantasy 15. And I just feel like something like this just may happen with the next Drakengard or Nier game, deciding on which franchise they want to put a game into next. So with that being said, these are some of my worries. I'm just kind of iffy on another Drakengard and Nier game, mainly because I see the way Square Enix is going, and hopefully they change the way that they're going and can go back to what they used to be, hopefully. I don't know, but just with seeing what they have done with Final Fantasy 15, the talks about turning their games into services, and a whole bunch of other factors that you can look up on your own time, I am not as gung-ho and happy about there being a new Nier/Drakengard game in the works. So while that is being said, and I am a great fan of the series and I can't wait to see whatever Yoko does with the series, at the same time, just understand that I am a little bit worried about it, and I love the series enough to say that while I do want another game, at the same time, I don't want it to be ruined, and let's take a step back and wait a little bit of time and figure out what you really want to do with this series. So with that being said, and possibly let Yoko maybe work on Sinnoh Alice, which I believe is what he's currently doing right now, that mobile game that's over there in Japan. Maybe they want to turn that into some AAA franchise, give him a budget with that, and see what that game would really be about. So with that being said, these are just a bit of my ramblings and worries about the next Drakengard/Nier game. This was not something that was written out. I had a couple of bullet points here or there, but this is just me rambling off the top of my head. Let me know your opinions on a new Drakengard/Nier game after I have talked about my worries and my little gripes with it maybe being bogged down by DLC and microtransactions. Let me know your opinion and how do you feel about the series going forward, and what do you hope to see from it going forward if it does continue, as it will continue. So with that being said, it has been your boy Skipx. Leave a like on the video, subscribe as well for more videos like this one, and turn the notification on, because you know YouTube doesn't want you to see these videos. And with that being said, that I am out.